Welcome to the Counsel of Men, the podcast where wisdom is usually planned, but today absolutely isn't. Now, full transparency, there was supposed to be a guest on today's episode, but they pulled out at the last minute for personal reasons. And of course, we sincerely hope they are okay and will try our utmost to get them on a future episode. But in true counsel fashion, we're going back to our roots. This is a good old-fashioned counsel check-in. No scripts, well, some perhaps, and slightly less structure than our avid listeners are used to. But really, this episode is just us panelists checking in with ourselves and each other, which historically has gone either very deep or very off the rails. We'll be covering a myriad of topics, some meaningful, some questionable, and some that will probably make sense at the time, but not necessarily in hindsight. So buckle up and grab a brew. This one may drift slightly off-piste, but along the way, we hope the insights we uncover help someone out there feel a little less alone and remind you that we're all still navigating something, and that sometimes all it takes is having the right community around you to help carry it.
Mind, oh man, life hits harder than we planned. So we gather, we chat, we reset again at the Counsel of Men. Grab a brew,
So with that,
take a breath.
let's get into our check-in counsel check-in.
Check in with me.
Welcome back to the check-in. How are things going, Robert?
Wow. So we'll just sit here, Ciaran, while you're at it.
It's pretty good.
Sorry, did you have a question?
That was actually my first question.
How's it going?
How are we all feeling?
Pretty good.
Yeah? Why?
Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty
But,
good, but how is it going?
how's it going?
But how is it
How's
going?
it going? It's going pretty good. Yeah, it's going pretty good.
Like how your voice kind of
It's-
went up a little bit there. Good sign of a lie.
I think it's kind of okay. I'm okay.
I mean, I'm going to go ahead and adopt
Stressed,
the
but,
the Neil approach and ask you for a second time.
third time, fourth
Third-
time.
Yeah. let's
How
keep
many
going.
more times?
How
Till
are
you tell us the truth,
Yeah.
Robert.
I hate it. I
Hate
hate
what?
it all. I hate it all. I just want to stop and not do anything anymore
Why?
because I don't want to do anything. It's a lot. Everything's a lot these days.
Being an adult.
Yeah, being an adult, you pay money out the nose for everything. You work really hard to get money, but then it doesn't really go anywhere.
No.
And then you get your weekends off, but your weekends are spent doing the things that you didn't have time to do during the week because you were too busy doing it.
So you're catching up.
Yeah, so you're catching up, and then that's like base level stress. Like I'm not even dealing with proper stuff. That's just like, I'm just hanging out. I
mean,
don't know what I'm doing.
I saw this interesting Instagram the other day, and it was this guy who was just sitting on London Bridge, and he was just saying how he was taking a video. Probably, I don't know if that's actually legal because he was videoing people, but he was videoing people just coming back to work, right? Like in their suits and everything. And he was saying this isn't living, guys. I mean, for example, we're giving away our time for free because when you think about it, you're working for money, but kind of to your point, as soon as that money comes in, 80% of it's gone to rent, to childcare, to food, to everything. And then you have a tiny bit of money left to spend on what you want. But then you spend that. And then basically you just don't have anything left to pursue what you actually enjoy. So ultimately we're giving away our time for free. Discuss.
Whoa.
He said that in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It's pretty
You
deep.
said it faster, I think.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's pretty bleak.
It's bleak, but
It's bleak.
he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Is he wrong? Is he right though? Because it's kind of I don't know. I mean, you pay for your lifestyle, so you do the fancy job so that you can pay for the nice lifestyle that you have. You could, I mean,
Yeah, but kids
in-
cost money. That's not a lifestyle.
true,
Well, I mean,
but you could, in theory, you could reduce. You could reduce your outgoings every month, and you could live in a little hovel, and not really spend much money, and you could have loads of money to do lots of free time stuff. But that's not usually what we do, is it?
it's not. But I mean, with the rise of cost of living and stuff, I mean, for example, just buying these very fizzy apple juice drinks, that was quite expensive.
Apple juice fizzy drinks.
Yeah, that's what we're drinking, Robert.
Yeah, I love my apple juice fizzy drink.
I mean, they're not wrong when they say the water in London is
Yeah.
yeah, the ones from
diabolical.
London.
These glasses
Straight out of
are-
someone's stomach, isn't
yeah.
it?
But no,
Oh.
Ciaran, how are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty shit. Thanks, Matt.
Nice. Okay. This is the forum to unpack that.
Yeah, no, this is so for listeners joining in who weren't in the earlier episodes. Last year, around December time, I got the notice that the company was restructuring and the position I was in was not going to be there anymore. So I've been applying for things since November kind of time. And yeah, nothing's come through yet, unfortunately. And it's fun employment for the first month or so,
Mm.
especially with like a nice redundancy package and all of that. But yeah, it's we're in March now. And yeah, there's been interviews, there's been this and that, but nothing's really landed. And I've had my wife now join me in the country as well. And yeah, there's a lot of things going on, but not a lot of good things,
I
unfortunately.
mean, your wife coming is.
It's been a really great. Well, I
Let's
feel.
just clarify
I'll
that.
be honest. I feel a little guilty about it because I've taken her away from a very nice lifestyle
Yeah.
to London, which let's be honest is
And
not.
for reference, that lifestyle was in South Africa where it's hot.
Yeah,
You got space.
she had friends. She had a good life going for her,
Yeah.
and we made the agreement that she'd come join me here because we had this perception of, oh, like there's a lot of opportunity in London. There's a lot of things to take advantage of, but yeah, we're kind of at a stage where we have to like reflect on it and say, like, how much longer do we let this go on before we say, actually, it's better if we go back home because there's opportunity back home. The quality of life is better, and we're kind of like facing this: what is a sign and what is a just push through it kind of thing. Because there's been a few people in our position who have done not the bare minimum, but they've done something, and there's been outcomes from their actions, and we've not seen that. So we've got to kind of think like, is it a sign that maybe this is not meant to be at the
Well,
moment?
how do you interpret that? Do you interpret that on yourself, or do you interpret that on kind of the things around you, or do you like, for example, when I was finishing university and I went to go and get jobs, you go and apply for jobs and you just feel worthless because nobody wants to speak to you
Yeah.
until that one day that you suddenly get it. But
Yeah, absolutely. And look, when you graduate uni, it's a rough time getting that first job after 10 years of work and experience and stuff, and things still aren't really, there's no traction coming. You got to kind of question like if it's the place to be or if it's the step to take. There's this kind of predestination versus it is what you make it conflict going on in the background.
yeah, I mean, it feels like it's this sort of thing where if you go into a job when you're in your 20s, there's still an opportunity to kind of get out of it. Whereas the older you get and the more embedded you get, the less likely you are to move because you start getting the salary for what you were doing. Because you get better at it, you become more specialized. So you end up earning the money to live your lifestyle, and then changing career, changing job, even just changing city, going somewhere else is terrifying a lot of the time. At least it is for me. This is how I feel. I don't know about you guys.
Have you just going back to that? Have you given yourself, with you and Nale, your wife, giving yourself a cutoff period?
I mean,
I think that's important because when you're in the situation, you can keep saying like, what if, like that one more job, interview, that one more whatever. Next thing you know, it's been a year. But if you said like in 3 months, 6 months, if there's no progress, we're heading back.
Yeah, I think within 3 months' time, we're going to have a definite like, right, this is what it is, and this is what it's been, and this is what we think we should do. Because I mean, our money will go further back home as well. It'll be more runway for one, but it's also just it's moving again. It's uprooting ourselves and moving. Even if you're going back home, moving's a stressful experience for anyone. So yeah, I mean, we're all about our budgets. We're all about our spreadsheets. We're all about our plans.
We know that all too well.
Exactly. We love these things, but we do put a lot of effort into these things. But when you put a lot out and nothing comes back, your cup just empties a bit by bit, and we're on fumes at the moment. We are.
But I think it's important to remain optimistic.
It's a nice sentiment.
It's yeah. I guess it's easier for me to say from my situation. Right?
We get days when we feel better, but then like we get other days where it's like, all right, just slog out a few more. Come at some of these applications, right? Reach back out to the network. Like we've tapped out pretty much every option we're at, and we're kind of
cool you're doing it together though.
Yeah, no, it's nice to have someone there with you, but at the same time,
experiencing the same thing.
At the same time, misery resonates in a sense. If one of us starts to have a really bad day, it is up to the other one to be there to help pick them up as part of a relationship. And I think neither one of us really has all the energy.
But, yeah, so
left
that
to
must
do
be
that.
hard as well, right?
Yeah, it's just one more thing to pull us both down.
Yeah.
So it is difficult.
Are you finding time to do stuff that brings joy?
That's the thing. All we have is time.
Yeah.
So it's this weird paradox where we have a lot of time, but things that bring joy, like there's a few things we can do, but there's not a lot we can do that's not going to cost us extra, or that we don't have to budget for or account for. Everything's on a very tight line at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like it's just the position we're in, really. And a lot of people do go through this. It's not something unique to
Yeah,
us.
this must be more and more common as people kind of in the current market as well, as
Yeah.
people are starting to find that there's not as many jobs as there are people, because things are moving along. It's getting easier to do specific jobs, or certain jobs becoming automated or whatever, and all of a sudden you just end up in a position where you're made redundant, and the industry that you're in doesn't have a massive boom for recruitment, so you just sit there.
Yeah, there is that. We have planned, some fun time, and we've made space in the budget. So like this weekend, for example, months ago, we planned this. We're going out to a rave on Saturday, like a day rave, and you'll be coming with us, and you should be coming with us.
Let's not overhype this. This is a bed by 10 rave.
Yeah.
Just so everyone's aware. This is
Just
not
so
like
we're-
a fabric 5 a.m.
It finishes at 9
be.
in the evening.
You don't know.
Okay.
It could be. We've
And I
got,
know
we've
we
got
got-
our apple
yeah.
juice.
That's true. We got our apple
We've
juice.
got our apple juice.
But I mean, I know we're giving away our age here, but I'm a huge fan of bed by 10, man. If I
Yeah.
can have a great party and be in bed by 10,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. No, we're really looking forward to that. It just so happens that this is now happening on the same weekend where we're now getting cases of meningitis in London. You kind of just have to laugh
You
at
do.
the way these things are happening. So now this is kind of like on our mind, like, actually, is this smart to go out? Because I can remember a few years back when a group of friends and I went to a beer tavern during one of the lulls in COVID, and 90% of that group came out with COVID.
They did, yeah.
So
That damn group, huh?
Getting
Honestly.
some-
Same people,
getting some
these weird
deja
people,
vu,
yeah.
flashbacky, all sorts of feelings out of it.
Well, I'm just going to Google quickly the symptoms of meningitis. I'm fully aware of
Headache.
what to expect on. Yeah, headache. That's
Drowsiness.
That's the
pretty
main
sure
one,
I'll have a headache on
Headache?
Sunday.
Mhm. Headache,
Yeah, you know
nausea,
the difference.
drowsiness,
No. Time will tell.
swollen brain.
That's common for all of us.
Yeah, so when you do that, it doesn't rattle.
Oh,
Matt.
it shouldn't feel water in there? Oh, okay. Right, you've been on the
Yeah.
hotspot. You.
Well,
we-
you've not.
We've checked in with
Yeah,
Robert.
yeah, we've
You-
checked in
That
with
was
me.
hardly a check-in.
What do you want from me? I
To
gave
be
you a
vulnerable.
check-in.
This is the point of the podcast.
Okay, I'll be vulnerable. Ask me a question. I'll be vulnerable.
How's
What's-
it going?
Yeah. What's draining you this week?
Whoa, man, it's so sad. I'm really sad.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I'm really sad. No, but no, but seriously, I think I'm in a weird spot. I'm in a weird spot where it's like super busy with work and stressed out. I'm working hard, but at the same time feeling like I'm not doing enough, feeling inadequate, overshadowed, all of those
At work.
things at work. Yeah. So you got like a paradox of being, I'm a relatively senior-ish guy at work.
Oh.
I do relative. Don't. I need to be vulnerable. Be vulnerable.
I'm a
Okay, I'm
management
being vulnerable.
consultant.
I am.
You're not.
I am. I literally have manager in my title.
Do you did get the reference? We had Dan
Yeah,
here
yeah.
Dan Trigger on the last episode, and he
Oh,
actually
is
is a former management consultant. And
Well,
like, he was talking
define-
about it, and Robert was like, "I'm a management consultant."
Define management.
Just like you've been to Wigtown.
Okay, I'd not been to Wigtown. I thought, to be fair, I thought Wigtown was on the other side of Scotland, but I have been to Scotland, which is more than some people can say.
I mean, I
you
can't
know.
define what a I mean, it's someone who consults management, but like,
Yeah, someone who consults management.
if
I am literally a
You-
manager, a
you
project
build,
manager.
you build Lego. That's ultimately what you do. have a
You
little
design
Lego.
posters. What
I
do you
do.
want?
I sign documents manually.
You sign posters with documents. Right. Anyway, I was trying to be vulnerable, and I've completely lost my train of thought.
Okay,
I was
sorry.
talking about the paradoxity of feeling inadequate and also too important at the same time.
Oh, it's a tough one.
Which is a big
But like,
thing.
you say you're busy at work, but is that like, are you busy for the sake of busy, or are you productive
no,
busy?
like brutal, but like
Okay.
busy as in, if something's not done by the end of the day, then everything falls apart. Sort of busy.
Is that you thinking that, or genuinely?
Well, I mean, the reality of what we do, and I think it's important to step back, right, is that pretty much all of our jobs, especially in consultancy, when you're working in the private sector, unless you're working for like the NHS or you're working for somebody that's literally saving lives, most of the time, what happens when you don't succeed is you don't make money for somebody else. But that gets played up so much because you're working in an industry that's time based, and they put numbers to this time as well. So you end up like, if I'm not performing, then, and I take an extra day, there's a cost associated with that day, which could be anywhere from $5,000 to 200 grand, depending on how bad the screw up is. And that's what kind of keeps you going. So you're constantly at odds with kind of trying to balance out your personal life and leave to go home on time, and then also trying to meet all of these deadlines that are coming. So the stress is that, really. But on the other side of that, the reason that I feel kind of like inadequate is that, you know, I thought at this point I would be doing more, I'd be leading more, I'd be more competent, I'd be able to do things. But you kind of feel like, well, I definitely do in my career, you get the slight imposter syndrome of, am I as good as I think I am, or am I as good as other people think I am? Am I not as good as I was a few years ago? Am I? And when you kind of take yourself back from the moment, you go, well, here's all the things I've done today. Then you start to feel a bit better.
So that you just hit the nail on the head there, because one of my career coaches, if you will, like one of my mentors at one of my previous jobs, one of the bosses that I genuinely admire the most, the biggest bit of advice that he gave me early on was to keep like a Google Doc of your achievements as and when they come about, so that when you have this precise moment where you question yourself, right, the imposter syndrome, you just reflect back on that document, and it makes you realize just how much you have actually achieved. Yeah. And to this day, I do that, and I tell everyone to do that. And so that's one tip for everyone watching this: is if there's one thing you take away, you know, if you're in a corporate environment, like, make sure you track those achievements. Not only does it help you mentally, but it also helps when it comes to annual reviews, right? You can just kind of look back at that document. I achieved X, Y, Z.
Such a ladder monkey.
No, but I mean, it's true, right? But like,
my happiness is. Do you find yourself my PDP?
Your what?
My PDP. Personal development plan.
Oh, is that a management consultant term?
Or was it something they made us do in uni?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't do that. You don't have like appraisals and
I
things
keep
like
I keep a PDP document.
You got a personal one.
I've done since uni.
Yeah. You probably sit with your wife. And
I've done that since uni. I've done that. I've kept a little spreadsheet of like, okay, in this role I've done this. In this role I've done that.
And nobody wants to hire this man currently.
Yeah. Let me show you my spreadsheet, please.
You've got a personal development plan for your relationship as well. Where areas of improvement?
You've got to keep the romance alive, man.
That's true.
Okay.
But do you find yourself comparing yourself to other people?
Yeah, constantly.
Yeah, it's not healthy.
It's constant. And I think you compare. It's not just other people. It's like salary. It's comparing
title.
It's comparing title. It's comparing workload. It's comparing responsibility. You're comparing absolutely everything.
I don't think we're,
I'll be honest as well, we don't get a respite from that outside of work, because more personally, our friend group is really well off. Yeah. Like, we've got a lot of successful people in our friend group.
I think that's a London thing as well.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Big city thing.
Yeah, big city thing. You're competing with other management consultants. Or you're competing with other people that are quite, you know, you've got to be, usually the people that you surround yourself with are in the same sort of bubble as you are, right? So we're all living London. The people in London work in London. They've got London salaries. They all have London houses. Everybody's kind of the same. If you were living in another city, or you were living in a small town, it'd be the same thing. Your friends are all the people around you. So that's who you compare yourself against. And usually it's relatively comparable. No, and if you drop off, then
it is. But like, well, first of all, I don't think we're we're competitive, but not necessarily in that sense, right? We don't every week, you know, how much did you earn this week, right? But like, also, it's not apples to apples. Like, we have a friend maybe we should. We have a friend who's an investment banker. I am never going to reach that salary level.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Like,
I quite like those people though, because at that point you kind of go, oh, well, it's okay, because I'm never going to be that.
Yeah, but you work in construction. I work in tech. You worked in tech. Like, the salary bands for those are fundamentally different.
Yeah.
You know, like
like I work and I get paid nothing. You don't work and you get paid loads.
No, for my manager watching, I do work hard. I don't skive
Does
off.
this?
But let's swap this around. I mean, actually, I
I
haven't
think
said-
it's spotlight time for
it's
you.
spotlight time
buddy.
for me.
Yeah.
I've had a similar problem to Robert. I have been questioning a lot about purpose. I don't want to necessarily spend the rest of my life sitting at a desk. I have a good friend of mine who is in South Africa, and he and I actually, during our gap year, did we worked at a game park, so an animal park in the Kruger National Park for 3 months. And he took it further, and he did all the qualifications, and he's now a manager at quite a big game park in the Kruger National Park in South Africa. And I hear stories from him. I see photos, and he's up at 5 a.m. He's walking in the Kruger. He's just being out in the wilderness. For me, obviously it's stressful. Don't get me wrong. You have to deal with tourists 24/7. You have to get up at 4 a.m. to prep the cars. You got to clean up after tourists. It's stressful, but I think that's extremely rewarding because he goes to bed having genuinely lived.
But you don't think this grass is always a little bit greener though,
Completely.
to an extent.
Yeah.
Like you always see people doing all sorts of things. It's like, oh yeah, I've gone off. I'm traveling the world, but the only bits you actually see are the bits where they want to film.
Best bits, yeah, for sure. But he's a very good friend, so he can be vulnerable with me, and he says that he's genuinely enjoying it. But he does have his stresses. But yeah, I've been questioning my purpose. It's like I don't necessarily want to do this the rest of my life. My dad, before he passed, he told me that there were times in his career that he hated his job, but he did it because he didn't want to take Larry, my brother, and I out of school, right? He didn't want to disrupt our lifestyle, so he just plowed through it. And that's extremely admirable, but I don't necessarily want to be in a position where
there's a balance though. There's a balance between plowing through it and throwing everything up in the air and finding something new. Because you do that too many times, then you end up just in a complete chaotic lifestyle, don't you?
You do, yeah. But I think it's important to find your passion because my mum, conversely, famous author, artist, poet. For her, it sounds cringy saying, but she's never worked a day in her life, and she'll tell you herself because that is genuinely what she enjoys doing. And so I think
but you got to be able to do that. Though.
Yeah, and you've got to be able to monetize your passion and all that. I completely understand that, and it's not an ideal. It's not an ideal situation for everyone. But
you need passion and pragmatism.
You need passion, yeah.
You do.
But where possible, lean more into passion. I think.
Well, how do you figure out what the thing is that you're going to do? What's your passion project going to be?
I mean, what brings you joy?
Yeah, but how do you work out how to monetize?
These days, there's a way to start a Twitch channel. There's a way of monetizing, so many different things.
Well, do it then.
Well, this is kind of what we're doing. My passion and our passion is just helping people feel less alone, right? And just
but there's this concept that's been brought up. It's in a book called The Silent Graveyard, and the Silent Graveyard is all of the failed things that you don't hear about, and it usually refers to businesses. So when it comes to a business success story, it's always very loud and you hear about it. But the Silent Graveyard is where all the failures went, and it's where you can learn more from because you know what went wrong. And I think it's the thing with following your passion gets touted a lot, but
it's not. Yeah,
it's the loudest. It's the people who have made it through, and it's that small minority who they follow their passion and it's worked out really well. But I think there's a very large silent graveyard behind it. I would push against your point of lean into passion, and I would say lean into pragmatism and find space for passion.
We were talking about this earlier, weren't we? And I think we were saying the same thing. It's like, well, I could have gone off and I could have studied drama, or I could have studied art and been an artist, or I could have studied and pushed to be an architect, but ultimately wouldn't necessarily have managed to get my head above the parapet doing any of those things.
But I think it's worthwhile trying.
Well, is it though? Sometimes it is.
Let's say you want to become an actor, right? None of us went to drama school. Let's say you want to be an actor. You financially plan for that, right? And you have a savings pot of enough to see you by for 6 months, and you say, I'm quitting my job and I'm going to pursue this for 6 months. If it doesn't work, I'll go back to my corporate job. But at least you've tried. All I'm saying is, I agree with you. Pragmatism in the sense that don't do something if it makes you impoverished, if you can't, support yourself. But at least try it. You owe yourself that. Right?
You know what? If you have a plan, and I mean your plan is more than I'm just going to try it, go for it. Hope's not a strategy. But if you want to say, quit your job and become an author or
Yeah.
become an actor, become anything you're really interested in, go in with a plan. I mean,
Yes,
a
agreed.
very structured, broken down plan, and
A
be
spreadsheet.
yeah, spreadsheeted.
You're such a spreadsheet
Know
guy.
exactly, know who you're going to reach out to, who you're
Yeah.
going to talk to, who you're going to try and get you into the scene. Don't go into it with hopes, dreams, and passion.
Yeah.
Go into it with a plan, and then by all means follow your passions.
So it's a hybrid of pragmatism and passion,
Hope's not a strategy, unfortunately.
but pragmatism
You
and
know?
It
passion.
can be. I
Mm,
think in your 20s it can be. When you've got room to screw it up and you've still got time to get a proper job and all those things, I'm fine. But it's like I was saying earlier, as soon as you as soon as you get to a point in your career where you're specialized and you're doing one thing, it becomes harder and harder to do it.
mm,
That's why people have gap years when they're 20 or when they're 19
mm.
and not when they're 40.
We call them
Oh, you
sabbaticals
take a
in our
sabbatical.
30s. Yeah.
But let's turn this around.
Hmm.
What's brought you joy this week or this past month?
Robert?
What's like a win that you
Apple
perhaps haven't?
juice.
What's a win that you perhaps haven't communicated that you've kept to yourself that you're proud of?
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard to think of something that you.
Mm.
Well, you start. You must have one in mind.
Tell us something from your PDP spreadsheet.
Well, Matt first. Matt first.
What I mean, honestly, I'm just proud of us doing this podcast. I mean, it sounds like a cop out, but you're not. We've been.
It's such a cop out.
It is, but it's not. But like we've been doing this Counsel of Men informally for a while,
Hmm.
and then just to finally make the jump and be vulnerable on a
Well,
public
this
forum.
is more like what the
This is more-
Counsel
yeah.
Man is in real is you sit down, you just talk about stuff.
Correct. Yeah, but I think what I'm most proud of is just the overall reaction to what we have. These the sort of 5-6 episodes that we've published to date has been, and I'm incredibly thankful to everyone who's reached out and who follows us and all that. Has been overwhelmingly positive.
Mm.
And so that's kind of reassurance that we should keep doing this because it does resonate with people. There are people who've reached out to me saying that this has helped them in one way or another. So for me, my big win, not necessarily this week, but just in the past few months, it's only been 2 months, 3 months that we've been doing this, is genuinely having conversations with my friends, conversations with subject matter experts, and just being able to help one person per episode is what gives me the most joy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You thought of anything?
Give me time.
Put out the spreadsheet.
I'm trying to think of something good. I don't know. I'm pretty good at. I did a 180 on a snowboard. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, I did a cool little. I did some tricks.
Did you actually land that 180?
Yeah,
You did.
and then I fell over.
And then you fell over.
Yeah,
Excellent.
that's right.
I was up at 5 a.m. this morning in my bathrobe screaming at a fox to get out the bins. So it was only up from there, really.
You scream at
So
them. I've given up by now.
it's bin collection day. I can't have the crap all over the front of the house, okay? But it could only be up from there. So that's my day. Yeah.
Dealing with the foxes.
Oh yeah.
You ever think you worry too much?
How do you get to that from foxes?
No, because when you look at the foxes, I go out and I look at the foxes and I go, "Oh, they're ruining my garden," but they are cute though.
They are cute.
Oh,
But you know what I mean.
that
It's like,
garden we spent a whole summer digging up
Yeah,
and cleaning out.
don't worry.
and-
Again, you worry too much. I'm worried about it. It's fine. I'm going to use it at some point.
I do
but-
fluctuate between that in this current place where I'm kind of like, it's just life. Don't take it that seriously. And then I'm like, oh, we have to buy groceries. Okay, take it a little seriously.
how much we got, and you get the coppers out and you count them. Yeah, I think
It's funny because it's true.
Yeah, it's important to get the levity right. It's
Yeah.
important to get.
Yeah.
It's important that you look at where you are and you realize that actually one day it's going to be over, and making a joke isn't going to kill anybody.
Yeah.
Not getting out of bed and taking the bins out from time to time might not kill anybody. It might kill me. I might get murdered by my wife. But you know what I mean. You don't. It's not always super important to do absolutely everything, and you can take the time to just relax and enjoy yourself a little bit.
Yeah, just give yourself the grace to, take breaks, make mistakes. Like,
Well, this is how I dealt with burnout. Like I think about a year ago, I was in a place where, even way worse than now, just so burnt out, so stressed out, working all hours of the day, trying to just get things through. You're finishing work at like 9 p.m. And then I sat down on the couch. I remember sitting down on the couch one day and going, I just can't do everything that I need to do by tomorrow. So I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have to start working again, but I've got no energy to do it. And then I got through that period and I realized, that wasn't actually that important. When I look back at it now and I think, all I got was the same pay and the same bonuses and the same recognition.
This is why I think what Neil said in one of the earlier episodes was I use it so much now was because similar to you, I had a sort of burnout / breakdown towards the end of last year. But he doesn't call it a breakdown, he calls it a breakthrough. Because to your point, like when you had that burnout, breakdown, whatever you want to call it, it gave you that perspective afterwards, right? My breakdown gave me a huge perspective after the breakdown. You know,
when was your breakdown?
Sort of December, January.
This year?
Last year. Well, yeah, last year and this year. It was a culmination of things. I mean, obviously my dad passed away in May last year. I don't think I ever really processed that properly.
You didn't take time to, bud.
I didn't even take time off. My head was, I mean, I guess this is me being extremely open right here, so whatever. But I remember being next to my dad because my dad, for people who don't know, I won't get into it, but he was basically on a hospital bed. And
this is the time to get into it.
Well, yeah, okay. He was in an induced coma, palliative care. He wasn't getting better. And he was unresponsive, so he was just there. And I remember sitting by his bedside on Slack, working.
That's perspective.
And I remember looking and responding to something that was so trivial and then turning to look at my dad. I'm saying, what the hell am I doing? Like, and I think that was genuinely my way. I just didn't want to face reality. I didn't want to face what was happening. And I was looking for any single excuse to take my head off what was happening. But it was just, my mind was, anyway, so that kind of fed into why my mind was in the state that it was. And so I had a breakdown towards the end of last year because I never really processed everything. And, you know, to the extent that I was crying on the couch, like, you know, at times, and Lily would just be like, you know, are you okay? What's going on? But since I had that breakdown and I've come out the other side, thankfully, like, it's just, I have so much clarity around what I want in life. And when you're saying about, you know, what I want, like, that's why I don't want to sit at a desk my whole life. I just want to live life. And I have this joke in our household where it's like, I minimize couch time because I just don't want to be sitting on a Friday night watching TV, like, or, you know, I just want to be doing stuff and living life to the fullest. And I appreciate you need money for that. You need resources.
You got to remember sometimes that's living as well, though, right?
Yes.
Sometimes it's okay. All of it gets erased at the end. This is the thing that everybody forgets, is everything gets erased at the end and it ultimately doesn't really matter. If you want to sit on the couch and you have joy from sitting on the couch and watching a film or watching TV, that's fine. If you want to go out and you want to do all these other things and conquer the world and climb up Mount Everest, all those things, and that's up to you as well. But don't delude yourself into thinking that your life is more masterful. You've got more meaning in your life just because you've done things.
I completely agree. Like, I'm not here saying that no one should be on the couch, no one should watch TV. Just for me, not being on the couch and being out and running or being active or walking or hiking or swimming or whatever it is, for me personally, that is living.
Yeah.
And that's something that I want to do more of.
It's weirdly some of the best memories I have with my dad is watching our evening shows.
Yeah.
Back when they had, you know, weekly shows and not everything was on demand. And there were certain shows we would watch together, like a couple of nights in the week. And it's, you know, we've done a lot together. I've still got a lot to remember him by. And he's still with us. I don't have to. But some of the best times I've had is just when we're watching our shows together. And it's just been
You've
that
got to self
quality time together.
Exactly. You've got to self-determine what
it's still quality time.
Right. Yeah.
It's the same for me. I'm exactly the same. I've been in that position where I've had friends pass away. And I think for me it happened quite early on, and I kind of got this perspective when I was about 17 or 18 and just realized, oh, you know what? They finished early. I keep going. I'm just going to do everything that I want to do, which is why as well, it's people call you childish, or people say, you know, why do you do X or why do you do Y? Why do you like doing things that kids do? Why do you like going out and getting drunk? Or why do you like sitting in your room instead of going out and hanging out with your friends? Because You determine what quality is. You look inside and you go, this is what I actually want to do. Then you do that thing instead of...
That goes back to my point of pursuing your passion, like with pragmatism. Like, do what genuinely makes you happy.
I think make time for your passions.
Yeah.
Definitely do. Don't fill your time with work and everything like that. Make time for your passions.
Yeah.
But if you're going to make passion your whole life, take it seriously.
Get really good at it.
Take it real seriously, plan it out.
You paint that Warhammer like
There
no one
you
has
go.
ever.
Don't you
painted
drop me in it.
Warhammer.
I was skirting around it. I'm really good at it. I like it.
Right, we have to address the elephant in the room here.
Right.
Everyone's talking about it.
Meningitis. Oh.
There's
We
a
can go
couple
down
of
that
elephants over there. I don't know. Which one are we
Well, there's
looking
3
at?
elephants right here. Louis Theroux's Manosphere documentary on Netflix.
Oh, that came out of nowhere. Well, okay.
Well, I have some sort of agenda, right?
Okay. Kick us off.
Well, my
kick us
question is, first of all, have we all seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen it.
And what is our initial reactions?
I love Louis' documentaries. They are fantastic.
Yeah, but that specific one.
That one?
Yeah.
I mean, Manosphere is a topic we've touched on in a couple of episodes or alluded to.
Yeah.
Never really given it like a proper definition. Louis' documentary was... I don't think it was anything surprising or revealing. It's kind of showing these guys to maybe their audience, what the audience doesn't see in them. I've got nothing positive to say about the guys, really. Some of the reactions
They're all
were...
assholes.
Well, yeah.
They're all assholes, but they're successful.
They are.
I think this is the trouble with it, isn't it? Is that despite everything that is exposed in that documentary, these guys are successful as a result of being, and not despite of, it's not that they're successful despite of being assholes. They are genuinely being difficult people, being nasty people, doing all of these horrible things, and that is what is getting them famous. And that's the problem. And I don't think it's their fault, and I don't think it's the fault of anybody who's watching them. And in terms of...
Well, it is their fault because they're intentionally doing it.
It is, but the problem is in the attention culture. If they weren't doing it, there'd be someone else doing it. Like there'd be another person that stepped in and took that place. They're just capitalizing on whatever it is, and you can't really judge that, because in other walks of life we do exactly the same thing. You're finding a market, and then you're exploiting it. And I think all that Louis' documentary exposed, really, because we all knew these people existed, is that they're doing it and they're ordinary human beings and they're not very nice people. And the great irony is that in him trying to expose them, he's probably got them more publicity, which is what
I
they
just
want.
find it amazing that these people are probably the most, at least the one of them who I think has kind of gone viral off the back of this. They're just they're actually insecure when you think about it. Because everything they do is clickbait and seeking validation.
Are you saying you're not insecure about something?
I have insecurities.
He hasn't
100%.
found out how to monetize it.
Yeah, no, but their
get
whole
there.
mantra is like, oh, I'm, this lad's lad. I have no insecurities. I'm perfect. Like I, sleep with women. I go out. I whatever.
If I could monetize my insecurities, I'd be so happy.
Well, Warhammer, dude, Twitch channel. Just do it.
Stop bringing that up. I'm really cool. I'm a cool guy.
Didn't you say on the last episode
I'd say
you live by Aragon's mantra?
Yeah, it's pretty. I know. It's not. I live by Aragon's mantra. I can explain this to you while we're here if you want. But no,
Yeah, go for it.
No, Aragon.
Tangent.
No. But it's not. It's not a
Manosphere.
it's actually not a tangent. It's not a tangent, because these guys that are doing all of this random crap, their mantra is the kind of, what's his name? Is it Patrick Bateman from American Psycho?
Yep.
I can't remember. Yeah, but it's the, we're here, we're dicks, we're just making money, we're pushing off everybody else. That's their mantra. Whereas the kind of, and you take away the silly character and all that sort of thing. It's the King Arthur mantra, right? It's the perfect king, perfect guy, perfect man, perfect prince, whatever you want to say. The kind of person that makes moral and just decisions because it's in their character. And they don't do it because they want to earn money. They don't do it for anybody else. They do it because it's their personality. and because it's the right thing to do. And that's why I always look at that, and I think if I was a good person, this is what I would do. And as a result, you come out with, if you just put your mind in that place where you're thinking like somebody else who is a decent human being, then a lot of the time, then you'll make the right decisions. And it's amazing how often you realize that when you think about what someone else would do, you suddenly know the answer.
What would Jesus do?
What would Jesus do?
Yep. Yep.
I didn't say Jesus, but
I think
the
one of
same
my
logic applies.
what would Aragorn do?
What would Aragorn do?
Right. Yeah, I think my favorite thing about the Louis Theroux documentary is he's got this technique where the other person speaks and then he just stays quiet. He just looks at them, he nods his head, and he says nothing, and you can see them get visually like agitated, like uncomfortable with the silence. Like
That's why I was trying with Robert there when I didn't say anything.
No, but you don't. I'm comfortable with silence.
That's true.
he prefers
the
it
main
actually.
thing. Yeah.
If we could have a whole hour of just sitting
Yeah,
quietly.
we could try it now. Do you want to try it now?
No. Do we think that, actually I got a question from a friend about this recently. Do we think that documentary sort of repackaged or illustrated these influences trying to kind of repackage misogyny as a strength?
I don't know if they're trying to package misogyny as a strength specifically. I guess it's not packaging it as a strength. It's a marketing technique more than anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're that intentional.
Yeah.
I think they are how they are, and they've just packaged their personalities, and it's come out that way. I don't think there's that much thought behind what they've done. It's just rude and reckless kind of, and it works for them. It does. But yeah.
Well, they're driving towards shock marketing, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's that kind of, I said something rude or I did something rude or whatever.
And you got to admire how they're very upfront about it as well. Like
some of them,
they're very self-aware that that's what they do. That's their business, and that's all they're there to do. It works. It makes money.
By the same logic, could you then, because it's mostly a persona, right? As they even said, one of the guy's wives in the show, or girlfriends in the show, said that it's just a persona. He's not like that when the cameras are off. Yada yada. How's that different to like Jimmy Carr as an example? Comedians who do the same thing. They put on a persona. They stand up on stage. They're horrible to people, and people laugh, and then they get famous and they make loads of money off of it. What's the difference? I guess
the difference is that people go to see Jimmy Carr. They know it's a production. They know it's like it's not necessarily like what he truly believes. It's a dramatization of a fictional reality, right? But with these influences, they are genuinely saying like, do this, do that, and your life will become X, right? So I think that's where the problem is.
I think it's because it's damaging.
They sell an unrealistic reality.
Completely.
Yeah.
And what's sad is
it's not unrealistic because they're living it.
I think it's big, but they sell the idea that this could be you.
Yeah.
This could be anyone. And the things they do, the trading thing, for example.
That was hilarious.
Like if you're doing trading, you need to understand it's a zero-sum game. You will make money if someone loses money, and someone's going to make money because you lose money. It's not a thing where you put money in and everyone's got a chance to come out better. The reason people make money off trading is because some people make bad bets, and the ones who make the good bets take their money. So selling this idea that if you get into trading, you'll be better off and you'll be successful, that's an unrealistic reality.
And why are you taking trading advice from a guy like that?
Because he flashes up like, I just made 7,000 quid in an hour type thing. And it's this idea of success with minimal effort. It's that kind of dream. And they broke down their audience, saying like, it's teenagers, it's young people who are idealistic and will buy into the dream. And it's a nice dream to have.
Yeah, well, let me clarify that here to all our young viewers. You need to put in the work if you want to reap the benefits. Like nothing is that easy in life.
I don't know. I think different people have different rides.
Yeah.
Different people have very different rides. And some people have some people find the passion thing that they love, and they jump in, they make loads of money, and sometimes they jump in and they make absolutely no money. Sometimes they get a stable job and they make a reasonable amount of money. Sometimes they get no job and then they suddenly get a job where they make loads and loads of money. It's all over the place. There's a massive spectrum of people doing different things, and you can't just, I don't think you can say blanket statement, just because you do what this person tells you, you're not going to succeed. And there's no
Conversely,
reason.
just because you do what they say, you are going to succeed.
Yeah, and just because you work hard, you're going to succeed as well.
Yeah.
Because sometimes some people don't work hard at all and they succeed fine. There's a lot of that which is based on kind of where you come from, what your parents did, what kind of money you have access to, how good your brain is, all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, let's move on to the more lighthearted part of this segment, the games segment.
Games.
We've got 2 games which maybe other friend groups can
Is this my
replicate.
bit?
I've got one first.
Oh,
It's the quickfire. We did it in the previous round, so I'll do it with you guys.
Right.
I've got questions for. I'm assuming none of you have read the brief. So
have you asked specific questions?
Considering
don't give us this. Don't give us this.
Yeah, considering we had to reset what we're doing in
So
like 2 hours.
I'll give you that. So this is even better because you haven't seen the brief.
How did you come up with that amazing introduction so quickly?
It just came to me. It just came to me. So I've got questions for each of you. Try keep your responses short, and don't think about the responses too much. Right. So Rob, the first one's here for you.
Okay.
What's something you're overthinking right now that probably doesn't matter?
Oh man, I don't really overthink anything. I kind of just do stuff. I guess I talked about it already. Is the self-worth thing.
Right.
Am I working too hard? I'm not getting anywhere.
Ciaran, what's your mental state summed up as a weather forecast?
Raining garbage.
Okay. We should unpack that. Rob, what's something small that's annoyed you way more than it should have?
His wife.
I'm not going to say that. I can't say that. I can't say that. I can't say that. That thing. Timothy Chalamet.
That thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Ciaran,
Poor guy's already had it in the through the Oscars.
He's had a hard time.
He's taken through the ringer, man.
Yeah.
He's made off.
Screw him. He's a guy that's worked easy hard and then hopefully he suffers.
But Dune 3 looks fire.
Oh yeah,
yes, Dune 3 looks fire.
I'll be watching that.
Keen.
Ciaran, what's your go-to distraction when you don't want to deal with life?
Binging.
Binging what?
TV.
Good choice.
Not apple juice.
I think you meant something else.
Not apple juice. It's not apple juice.
Ciaran, what's something you're proud of that you haven't said out loud?
Pass.
Incorrect.
It's
it's not Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Pass on the something I'm proud of that I haven't said out loud. I'm vocal about all my stuff.
What kind of stuff do you do in your free time? What do you do when you're in your house on your own?
Well, usually I'll go to the gym, or I'll try to stay productive. I like to stay as productive as I can. I'll stick the radio on or something, but
take the bin out.
Yeah, take the bin out, scream at the foxes.
Scream at the foxes. Screamed at the foxes. That's what you did.
Are you proud of that?
Something I'm proud of, just staying afloat, treading water.
Nice. That's
I'll keep it to that.
Hard work, that.
And last one, Robert. If your week was a movie genre, what would it be?
This week, Die Hard.
That's not a movie genre.
Well, action.
Let's unpack that.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Cool. Right. And now, Rob, I think you won the Mask of Truth, right?
Yeah. Yeah, do I get to ask questions?
You get to ask questions.
Okay,
No.
I'm going to ask them all at you. Right.
Thank you.
How are you really doing this week? So the way this works, sorry, I didn't explain the rules, but the way this works is there's a mask. So there's like this is how I would answer normally. And then there's a truth, which is deep down, how does it actually feel?
And this is the Mask the Truth segment.
Yeah. And you can answer however you want.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
This is
the
all for me.
kind of guy that goes, on the spot, answer immediately. It's just like,
Okay.
I'm having a rough time, and then you go into the detail, Okay.
Fair.
So how have you really been doing this week?
I've been doing great.
That's your mask.
That's my mask.
That's your mask.
The truth is, I've been struggling more and more with that purpose question. Is this what I want to do the rest of my life?
It's a hard question.
Yeah.
But is that Is that it? You just, So when you say that, you've been thinking about your purpose.
Yeah, for a while. Just, do I necessarily want to go down this career path that I have the rest of my life?
You've been doing it for 10 years.
I've been doing it for 10 years, the same thing. Do I want to pivot to something completely new? Do I want to just try a whole new, I don't know. That kind of question has been running through my head for a while.
Okay.
And I've yet to find the answer.
All right. I'm going to move on from that question specifically for you, because I feel like we've done that one a few times already. All right. What does being a man really mean to you, Ciaran?
Being a man is being vulnerable. It's assuming responsibility.
This is your mask. This is what you think you would answer.
Being a proper gazer.
Proper gazer.
Being a man is no. I do think being a man is being brave enough to be vulnerable, but it's also pushing through the hard times. But it's sharing when that workload becomes a little bit too much. It's not keeping everything to yourself. It's not bearing all the weight to yourself. It's sharing the load, and it's asking for help when you really need it.
So that's your mask answer. What's your real answer?
Oh, was that meant to be my mask
No,
answer?
let's give him that. This is a real answer.
Okay, this is a good one. Who are you trying to impress?
Me, my wife.
Then mask first, and then your
mask
real
first. Who am I trying to impress? Everyone.
Everyone.
Everyone. Look at me and be impressed.
Is that what you would say? If someone came up to you in the street and they go, "Who are you trying to impress?" You'd say, "Everyone."
No. If someone came up to me on the street, they'd be like, "Oh, blimey, geezer, look at you."
Is that a Cockney accent? Oh, blimey, mate.
We have just offended the whole of East London.
Oh, blimey, mate.
I have realised, by the way, we are slightly over time. So
Are we over time?
All right,
Yeah.
should we wrap up?
No.
I know, it's flown past.
Well, you want to... Okay,
Last
I've got
time.
one more.
One more.
Yeah.
When was the last time you felt overwhelmed?
Never.
That's your mask answer. I think you've already answered this.
Yeah, I think
This week?
Yeah, somewhat recently. Yeah.
This week?
Yeah, this week. Yeah.
Like yesterday.
Like yesterday. Yeah, no, there's a lot going on at work. It's very busy. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. We will come back to that.
No time for more depth.
No, we'll do that segment again. I do have just two more things just I want to run past, just so people can take things. We can't get around to William's wisdom, but that's for another day. I think
William's not here.
We've shed a lot of wisdom already on this episode. But one question I do have for both of you two questions. The first one, whichever you can take it. But one thing that you'd say to any listener out there that feels like they're struggling right now.
Sort it out.
It's just life.
Yeah,
Don't take it too seriously.
It's just life.
Yeah.
It's you get to a certain age and you just realize that actually the pressures that are on you are all made up by somebody else who's putting them on you. You don't need to worry about it all so much.
And the majority of them come from you.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah. Also, not every big thing needs to be sweated about either.
I always say keep the simple things simple so the hard things can be hard.
Good. And actually, I have two more questions. One more. How realistic do you think that we'll ever get Timothy on this podcast?
Well, he needs that Oscar, so he's got to start making appearances all over the place. So I think our chances just got better after this last weekend.
Yeah, and after his comments about the Oscar, the opera and all that, I think
0.
Let's see how June 3 goes.
And then finally, because we haven't got our previous guest to ask this question to, we're going to borrow that format that we did last week. What's one question we would like to ask our guest for the next episode to make them pause and think about their mental health?
Do we get to answer the previous question?
Which was?
I don't know.
No, that's the question.
That is the question. Yeah.
Sorry.
I'd like to ask them, what's something people usually get wrong about you?
It's not like we ask that every episode.
I'd like to ask them, how likely do you think it is that we get Timothy Chalamet on the podcast?
I'll come up with something. This was a very productive ending. But yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate the last minute change.
I think we did all right. I think
we did all right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
we did proper Counsel of Men. That's proper Counsel of Men.
And it might come back again in the future.
Yeah, we should do it again. It's fun.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, listeners.
Roll credits.
Tune in again for another great episode.
My ground, oh man. Life hits harder